The offer was too good to refuse, a fortune to watch empty screens in a forgotten facility at the edge of the world. But isolation has a way of warping reality. The silence grew teeth. The cameras hid more than they revealed. And when the feeds began to twist, hallways that shouldn't exist, figures that stared back, systems that erased themselves, a horrifying truth emerged. There were no instructions for what to do next, no way out, no one coming to help, because the watcher wasn't there to observe. He was the one being studied. The offer arrived with a simplicity that bordered on unsettling. A comfortable sum, enough to reshape a life, for simply observing. 4,000 each week to keep watch over a network of cameras, a solitary post at a research center removed from the world, nestled on a distant location. It seemed improbable. Still, the opportunity came through a familiar channel, a defense contractor he had assisted on prior ventures, and the details were reassuringly complete. All expenses covered, complete autonomy, no interference, just the feeds and him. The journey itself felt like a descent. The helicopter sliced through an endless expanse of gray, the sky heavy with cloud, the water below stretching into a featureless horizon. When the land materialized, it wasn't welcoming. The facility looked forgotten, weathered concrete structures clawing at the sky, trees twisted and bowed by years of relentless wind, antenna towers like skeletal fingers pointing towards the unseen. A figure in a dark coat appeared, a brief exchange of a clipboard and access codes, and then, just as quickly, disappeared. The instruction was stark: watch the cameras. 78 distinct perspectives unfolded across the monitors. Sterile hallways, empty laboratories, the perimeter fences, server rooms humming with silent power. For the most part, they showed nothing. Swaying branches, the rhythmic sweep of ceiling fans, the quiet persistence of dust motes dancing in the light. The emptiness was profound, the silence absolute. He inquired about the previous team, about their departure, but received only a curt digital response: access denied. Days bled into one another. Conversation became a necessity just to break the oppressive quiet. The console became a makeshift bedside companion. Time lost all meaning, the calendar pages blurring into an indistinguishable stream. Then, the anomaly surfaced. Camera 12 faltered. It displayed a hallway on a level designated a lower level. A minor technical glitch, he reasoned. The building was old. Yet, when he went to trace the power lines to check the breaker panel, there was no mention of a third level. Only the ground floor and a single sublevel were listed. Still, he remembered the feed perfectly, a quiet, unchanging corridor, cold and clinical. Then, in the pre-dawn hours, the feed flickered back to life. But the scene had shifted. The illumination was muted, the walls marred by dark streaks, stains that resembled rust or perhaps something far more disturbing. And at the far end of the hallway, a figure. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. It simply stood, motionless, arms relaxed at its sides, facing the camera with an unsettling directness, as if it had been waiting. He adjusted the zoom, attempting a closer look, but the image fractured, becoming distorted and unstable around the figure's form. It remained unmoved, its gaze fixed on the lens. He reached for the emergency contact number, his fingers trembling, and dialed. The line offered only a repeating, hollow tone. Then, without warning, every single camera screen dissolved into static. The console shut down, rebooting on its own. After an agonizing period, the system revived, but camera 12 was no longer present. Not offline, not displaying an error message. Simply gone, erased from the list as if it had never existed at all. The next morning, escape became his priority. He headed toward the landing pad but found all communication systems unresponsive. The satellite phone displayed a chilling message: no link established. The generator continued to provide power, the lights remained on, but a suffocating isolation descended. Even the supply crates, clearly labeled for the coming months, stood empty, already plundered. A chilling realization began to take hold. The job wasn't about seeing something. There was no expectation to report, no directive for action. The cameras were irrelevant. He was the observation. His presence, his isolation, his very existence. That was the assignment. He was being watched. Soon, a subtle, unsettling tremor began to permeate the structure. A low, mechanical hum resonated from beneath the floor, a background vibration that pulsed like a distorted heartbeat. It wasn't emanating from machinery, but from the earth itself, from deep within the land's core. Even sleep offered no respite. His dreams shifted to a labyrinthine corridor he didn't recognize. Cracked tiles, flickering, unreliable lights, and at the end the same figure, stationary, patient, waiting. If by some chance his thoughts were transmitted, if some hidden channel forced this warning into the outside world, he knew what had to be said. Do not respond. Do not investigate. Do not come. He was already woven into the fabric of the facility. He was part of the experiment, and whoever came next would be the one looking at him. What do you think was really happening at that research facility? Leave your comments below on your thoughts. Like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for more content like this.